Hi guys. Okay, let me do the recording setup and then I guess we can begin. Like mostly we were doing about the authentication part, right? So we studied in the last session how we can have a authentication method or more of a strategy. What do we use exactly? So in the last session, what we used is the cookies. So in login, we are setting up the cookies, and then um, once the user or any route requires authentication, so picking up the cookies and like sending it to backend. So that was what we did. Okay, today's class mostly focusing on using the passport.js middleware. Okay, that's the authentication middleware. Authentication simply means that if the user can make a request or not. For example, there are two types of pages. One, we have a public page and we have a private page. Okay, so public page are available on the internet, whatever you serve. But there are some pages you need login, right? So that is what we need to discuss today. Okay. So regarding that authentication thing, so like sometimes the complete if there is a backend server or a API server, so like every route is like need authentication at some point, right? So those kind of things are there. Like if you can only make a request. For example, you can take example of your any social media site, right? Let's say Facebook. So you just cannot, like, no other person can go and sign up for you or like maybe post something for you, right? So that is only in your hand. Okay, until unless that person has your credentials. Okay, so that is what authentication will see. Okay, let's take a minute. Give me a minute. I will drop a message, open the VS Code, and then we can begin. Any doubt regarding the last session, you can ask. Okay, so give me a minute. Okay, so I will share my screen now, I guess. Okay, then we can begin. So let me open the folder we were having. Okay, and let me share the screen. Okay, so let's see what we have as a setup till now and what we are going to set up, right? So, okay, basically, the only packages we have used till now in our application is EJS, Express, and Mongoose. Okay, so EJS is basically the view part, Express is our framework, and Mongoose is our way to talk to the database. ठीक है, so database से connection के लिए है ये. Then this is for framework और ये view के लिए. Okay. um, then we have the basic server setup. Okay, so then we have the basic server setup. ठीक है, routes defined है हमारे यहाँ पे. And then we have the view and the view engine. ठीक है. So views are basically our EJS files. ठीक है, what we have already. ठीक है, we'll have a walkthrough what we have built till now. ठीक है, then we'll add some more things today. Okay, the authentication part. Okay, the passport middleware library. Okay, that's a middleware node package. Okay, so this is connection, couple of controllers over here. Okay, also what I am talking about authentication is, let's have a quick look at it. So not this one exactly. We did put some routes on authenticate. Okay, so where is it exactly? So not the point one. Okay, then we had this. Okay, let me check out cd this, then I will say HMS. Okay. Then let me check if we have another branch. Okay, so we did manual authentication, right? So I need to check out to that branch so that I can see the code. I'm not getting the code which we did in the last session because we did on a separate branch. Okay, so I need to switch to that branch. Okay, makes sense. So I guess I would be getting that authentic. Oh, okay, it's here now. Okay, so we switched to manual auth branch. Okay, so that we will be setting passport today. So we do not want to this to be shipped as a feature. So what do I mean by this? So whenever like companies like Facebook or some like whatever be the tech companies are there, so they work their like the developers work in terms of branches. Okay, so there is a release branch made which has one feature. Okay, then there is a other branch, so we have a different git branches with a different feature, so that anytime a feature fails, okay, so you can roll back to the main branch. Okay, so suppose that you are working on some project that, okay, you are going to do a manual authentication, but you found out that, okay, this is not a standard way. So आप इजीली दूसरे ब्रांच पे स्विच कर सकते हो ऑन द मेन ब्रांच, लाइक मेन ब्रांच विच इज द स्टेबल ब्रांच. ओके, ठीक है. सो लाइक दिस इज वन गुड यूज ऑफ और इम्पॉर्टेंट यूज ऑफ गिट. ठीक है, ये वर्जन कंट्रोल सिस्टम का एक इंपॉर्टेंट यूज है. ओके, okay, makes sense. Let's go to this authenticate function. The use of this authenticate function is to check the cookies. So remember we used cookies for our authentication. Okay. So if the user is present, then and then only we'll say like a return true or call the next. So that this next. Okay. What does this next call do in middleware? Any guesses, guys? Every controller is going to get the request, the response. Okay, but we are getting next also. Okay, and okay, let me tell you, so this authenticate is middleware, custom middleware which we have created, right? So if I have a close look over here, so how did we set up other routes? So the route has a path, okay, the URL, this URL पे आप hit करते हो, and there is a function associated with it, normal function. Okay, these are not so special functions. What is controller? Normal functions are there, right? But those get a request and response by node server. They get two objects, request and response by the node server. Also you can use a middleware in between. ठीक है, आप middleware यहाँ पे रख सकते हो, so that before your control reaches to doctor profile controller, you can authenticate who is making the request. Is the user reliable or he is not reliable? Okay, so that is what middlewares do. Okay, so the middleware is not doing the main operation. Main operation is to get the doctor profile, but the authentication way or cookie parser, okay, URL encoding, so these are the job of middleware. Okay, remember we have used all of these in our application. So this is what we did. Okay, let me have like let me start the server. Okay, we'll do the setup. Okay, so we'll just go through passport first and then we'll do the required setup. So our application is running on localhost 8000. Let me open the network tab. Always open the network tab. ठीक है, ताकि आपको visibility हो what's going with your application. let's do a doctor login. Okay. So in hospital management system, we have created all these three type of logins. Okay. So the first one is the sign up form, and then for patient, admin, and doctor. Okay. So we have different flow for all these. Okay. Let's submit. So yeah, we see that this is working fine. And why didn't I see any request? Because I have selected filter as fetch API and XHR, so I need to click on all. ठीक है, तभी आपको type document दिखेगा. So you choose document, so you see document, right? Okay. Then these are fetch API calls. So you see this is fetch API call. So this is status accepted, status rejected, and all these things are there. Okay, we need to work on this one. Okay. So yeah, so pretty much things are working fine. Now, if I save this URL, let me save this URL. Okay, so this is an authenticated URL. Authenticated URL means you can only come to this URL if you have logged in. Okay, so let me log out. So I have a logout button also. Now, if without logging, I try to go to that user. See, it says user not found. I can redirect to login page also. Okay, that is one solution. Okay, but I guess you guys are getting the point. आपको point समझ में आ रहा है? Like, what is the point exactly? ठीक है, तो you have to. So this is what we did. Okay, and to achieve this, mostly our since I'm requesting this, so I'm coming over here. I'm checking the cookies. ठीक है, मैं cookies को check करता हूँ. So if cookies are there, अगर cookie में user ID है, then I will log in. Otherwise, I will not log in. It means that अभी at present I am not having anything in the cookie. How to check the cookie? Go to application, go to cookies. You can see that there is no cookie. Okay. So it means that. So how is the cookie set, guys? We did set the cookie last day. So how did we set the cookie? Anyone remembers? How did we set the cookie in the first place? पहले तो आपको cookie set करना पड़ेगा ना. So how did we do that? So on login controller, we are setting up the cookies. ठीक है, लॉगिन कंट्रोलर पे हम कुकीज सेट कर रहे थे, और लॉग आउट कंट्रोलर पे हम कुकीज डिलीट कर रहे थे. सो दिस वाज आवर नॉर्मल ऑथेंटिकेशन मेथड. ओके, एंड दिस इज व्हाट मोस्टली हैपेंस. ठीक है, दिस इज व्हाट मोस्टली हैपेंस. ठीक है, like cookies set and cookies deleted. Okay, most of the time you can try it out. Okay, so if you have logged in your profile, Facebook profile, go and clear the cookies. Okay, it will ask for password again. Okay, because session is clear the cookies and session also. Okay, so how did we do that login thing? So let's have a close look at it, then we'll move to passport. Okay. So we had our login controller. So this is doctor login, right? How did we set the cookie? So response dot cookie is the function. Okay, response dot cookie जब आप बोलते हो, तो then you are setting up the function and redirecting to the profile. And the logout function should be also there. So okay. So in shared file, so shared means everyone can use this logout handler, right? Everyone can use it. So this is logout handler. ठीक है, इसमें what we are doing, so we are saying a response dot clear cookie. So clear cookie, when we call clear cookie, so cookie is cleared based on the key we have. Okay, so that is why it is um, like we are not able to log in because the cookie is cleared. Okay, and all other, so any routes we want to authenticate, so any route you want to protect, just put this authenticate function, that will be protected. Okay, put authenticate here, whatever, wherever we want. So this is how we did. Any issues in this manual authentication? Any issues, guys? Should I repeat or something else? Or manual auth is clear? Okay, so I will take as a yes that it's clear. I have already uploaded the code. Okay, yeah, Satyam says yes. Okay, so I already uploaded the code. Okay, on GitHub, so you can just go through it if you have any doubts. Okay, now I will switch back to the main branch. Main, let's switch to main. Okay, I've switched back to the main branch. Okay, it says main branch already exists, obviously. So we have to write git checkout main. Okay, so I have to write git checkout main. Okay, either you check out from here or you have the shortcut here, VS Code. Okay, click on main. Okay, you see here you have all the branches listed. Okay, now it's time we go to passport authentication middleware. Let's see, passportjs.organization. Simple unobtrusive authentication for what is this unobtrusive? Uh, attracting attention, not I don't know, attracting attention or something. Okay, so it says this is simple and authentication for Node.js, made for Node.js. Okay, it says so we go to the documentation. It says lesson that introduce the basic by building simple application, which we have already done. We want to reach to the main part, so I need to go to either authentication. Okay, so it says if you want to protect a route, just do passport dot authenticate. The same we did, right? Middleware strategy session. Okay, this is our middleware. Okay, so app dot post comma. This is the middleware and this is the function. Okay, anyways, we'll check it out. This is how we'll implement the strategy. We'll come to this later, but first one which we need to do the setup is the passport itself. Okay, so API schemes. Okay, local API key. Here, okay, we do not need the exact code to be copied. Let's go to documentation features. Okay, this is not I want. Okay, let's pick one and start. We'll check that later. Okay, so passport local. I guess we can start with this one, or maybe we can start with. Okay, let's start with this one. So then we will see the JWT part. It says the module lets you authenticate using a username password in your Node.js application by plugging into Passport. Local authentication can be easily and obtrusively integrated into any application or framework that support Connect style middleware, including Express. Okay, so this is the code we have. So we can directly copy this code and it will run. But first we need to do some installation. So we'll say npm install. Okay, what's the complete name? So npm passport npm .sml. We'll check it out what is sml later on. Okay, so this is the page. So where is it exactly? So npm install passport and yes. Okay, so npm install passport. Okay, it's installed. Now we will create a configuration. Okay, so now we'll create a configuration. Okay, also we need a strategy. Okay, a strategy. So this is the basic package which we need, and also we need a strategy. Okay, which we will be using exactly. Okay, so a strategy which we are going to use is passport local strategy. So let's install the strategy also. So okay, so passport local we are going to use and it is also done. Now let's write the configuration. The file will be passport local strategy. Okay. So why I choose configuration folder? So any third party configuration which is bit away from the view, the controller and the model. Either अगर वो व्यू है तो वो व्यू में जाएगा, अदरवाइज इट इज अ मॉडल सो मॉडल में जाएगा, कंट्रोलर है तो कंट्रोलर वाले फोल्डर में जाएगा. ठीक है. बट इफ यू हैव सम कॉन्फ़िगरेशंस जो पूरे एप्लीकेशन में यूज हो रहा है, सो दैट विल बी इन config. For example, MongoDB. So database is used in lots of controllers. ठीक है. So that is why we put in config. ठीक है. So now we'll use passport local strategy. What is the syntax? So sometimes you have to see some syntax. Otherwise, we already have the complete syntax over here itself. We do not need to do anything else. So we can use passport dot use local strategy. But before this, I need to require some packages. So I will say const passport is equals to require. Okay, so require passport, and I will say passport local strategy. Okay, so npm package are already written code by someone. Okay, so someone has already written the code for us. Okay, npm package is already written code for us. We already did the manual authentication, right? So I can ship that as a npm package, but that is already present. Okay, but the behind the scenes, what is happening? Someone has written the code for us, and we are just using that code. That's it, nothing extra. Okay. uh, then can I write the directory straight here? Yeah, so I can write the directory straight here, and passport local strategy, so I can write the strategy directly. Okay. This is, it says that this is a class, and we know what to do with the class. So we need to create an object. Okay, object is created with new keyword. You see this new keyword over here? So passport dot use passport. Okay, so passport dot use new local strategy. So okay, let's rename this to local strategy. Okay, local strategy. First thing first, username and password. So let's check. So whose username is password and password? Whoever tries to log in. Okay, so doctor, then doctor, otherwise patient, otherwise admin. So we have email instead of username. Okay, so email is there. So this object requires a callback. Okay, this function is nothing much than a callback, and this done is working as a, what you can say, like it is supplying the arguments to other functions, something like middleware. We have next. Remember, we just have next there. Then we have something called as done over here, which accepts first argument is error, second argument is user, third argument is any verification options. Okay, so let's see what we have. So it's saying user dot find one, but in our case I want to authenticate our doctor. Okay, so I need doctor, the doctor. Okay, doctor dot find one with help of username. Again, it's written username, it should be email. Okay, email, because with the email we want to verify if the doctor is like authenticated, a real doctor, or like authenticated doctor or not. Okay, then we have the function. Then it will, since it is either you write using callback. Okay, या फिर you can go with normal functions also, like we have. So user dot verify password, so dot verify password, and finally we have this done. Does user has any verify password function? Not sure about that function. Okay, anyways, if we require, we'll change this function. So we can since we get the document, so जब document है हमारे पास, so we did not need to use this inbuilt method. We can write our own methods. ठीक है, so this is first configuration. ठीक है, so you we always tell Passport you have to use local strategy. And why is that? If you visit to the site, like there are 3 4 login options, right? So either log in with Google, either log in with Facebook, or something else. So we all can do something like that also. Okay, so we can have GitHub, we can have Facebook, we can have normal login also. Okay, and for um, okay, well, there is one more strategy which is very very important, which is used in Android and iOS application. We'll talk it about. I guess you guys already know about that. Okay, that is JWT. Okay, which we'll study. Okay, because okay, let's see that later. Now there are two functions. Remember, okay, so just if you want to understand the complete thing, please read it carefully. What is like whatever things are here. Okay, the next point. Once the setup is done, Passport will maintain persistent login sessions. In order for persistent login sessions to work, authenticated user must be serialized to the session and deserialized when subsequent request are made. Someone getting the paragraph? What is written over here? What we did in previous in manual authentication, we did maintain persistent login session. Persistent means you do not have to log in again and again, and this is the case, right? Once you log into your like social media site, or let's take example of Flipkart or Amazon. So you do not have to log in again and again. You do not have to log in at checkout, then log in at payment, then log in at address change. No, once you log in, that's it. Okay, so because either we use the session storage or we use cookies, so browser sends a request with help of like browser sent cookies to backend every time. So you do not have to log in again and again. So that is persistent logging session. So it is trying to say that I will be maintaining session, but for persistent session to work, um, the user must be serialized. मतलब कि user should be इनकोडेड ठीक है लाइक इन सम इनक्रिप्टेड फॉर्म वो सेशन में रख देगा एंड डीसेलाइज मीन्स वेन एवर वी ट्राई टू मेक अ रिक्वेस्ट तो फिर सेशन भी पास होनी चाहिए सो दैट सेशन विल बी सेंट एंड पासपोर्ट विल एक्सट्रैक्ट द आईडी फ्रॉम इट ठीक है सेम काम हो रहा है बट वी डू नॉट नीड टू राइट फंक्शन और देर इज ऑलरेडी फंक्शन प्रेजेंट ठीक है सो copy paste. Okay, just good use of package. So someone has already written code for us, so why to do the same work again and again? Okay, so serialize user, deserialize user. What else do we have to do? Anything else? Okay, yeah, obviously the two very important function. First function passport dot initialize. Like you, हमें express को बताना पड़ेगा कि call this function. So how to tell express to call this function? So सबसे पहले whatever we have written उसको export करेंगे and then we'll initialize it before we make any request, before the route reaches, before the request reaches to the route. ठीक है, so सबसे पहले तो initialize करना पड़ेगा पासपोर्ट को. Okay, and session will see. Okay, ठीक है, session maintain करने वाला देखेंगे. um, but I guess this is the only thing which is needed as of now. So इसको pick करते हैं. तो I will copy it. Anything else? ठीक है, और कुछ नहीं है. So let's come over here. Let's go to our index file, not this one, the main index file. Okay. We need to module.export passport from here. Okay. So module.exports is equals to passport. I guess this will do the job. Okay. So const passport is equals to require Her passport. See, the point is, I have EGS over here, which is not used. Okay. I have database here, which is not used, but I'm writing here so that if I call this file, these all get initialized. ठीक है. इस यहाँ पे इसलिए मेंशन करते हैं कि हम सिर्फ सिंगल फाइल कॉल करते हैं, राइट, अपने पैकेज जेसन में. वी ओनली कॉल इंडेक्स जेएस. तो हाउ टू रन ऑल द फंक्शंस, सबको इंपोर्ट कर लो, एवरीवन विल बी कॉल्ड. Before we reach this point, I have to write this app.use passport.initialize. ठीक है, initialize करना पड़ेगा before the request reaches to the route. Now one part has been already done. What left? Okay, so the only thing left is authenticate the request. Authenticate function passport.authenticate, फिर local and all those sort of things. ठीक है. So we already did in the manual authentication. ठीक है, something like this we already did. ठीक है, फिर से करते हैं इसको. So appointment doctor. Okay, let's protect this doctor profile first of all. Okay, so I will say passport dot authenticate. The first argument is the strategy, which is in a string, so I'm following local strategy. Okay. The second is the callback. Should I already call back? I have to give options over here. Okay, failure redirect. So if the user fails, where to redirect? See how effective this is. We can directly send the one to like slash if he fails. We do not need to put if else over here. Failure redirect. So yes, these are some good middleware packages. Okay. Now, if it says that, okay, sir, you are verified, then and then only doctor profile will get this route will get to doctor profile. Otherwise, it will be redirect to login page. Okay. The same thing, the flow similar to what we had in our manual auth, but the only thing different is now passport is taking care of all the things. Okay, I guess I need to change this method. Do we have something in document? Okay, let's see. Otherwise, we'll change it. Now, serialize function, what serialize function is doing is we are supplying user.id. Okay, not user.id, I guess user._id, right? Because that is what it is present in MongoDB ._id. Okay, let's check this. Okay, and not user.find by id, doctor.find by id. Okay, remember this flow is pretty simple. This is our callback, nothing else. Okay, we should have created, we already created the manual authentication, but we are using a package now. Nothing extra or complex we are doing here, just a separate function to do all these things. Okay. Okay, let's try. npm start. It's up and running, no issues till now, nothing break. Localhost 8000. Let's try to log in. It says unknown authentication strategy local. Unknown is authentication strategy local. Okay. So this we are getting email ID and password. Unknown authentication strategy local. So where did it go exactly? So we have uh, local over here. It says it unknown authentication strategy. And why is that exactly? So authentication, we will be. Checking once again. So passport dot use new local strategy. Passport local. Okay. Verify function we are having. Then we have the user. Okay, so we have the local strategy. Okay, do we need to import a strategy also? Not sure. Okay, let's check this one. What we are missing exactly, because that was as per the document. Maybe we are missing something. It says express configuration config.js. So okay, so this is using session which we do not need as of now. Okay, passport config. So import passport config after initializing passport. What did we miss? Let me check in here. So we have passport.initialize function in place. Dot session we do not want to use. Passport equals to require passport. Okay, okay. Obviously, we do not require it from here, but that should do the job. Anyways, let's see. Config. Let me check if this should be working. Okay. Okay, so I'm over here. Let me log in again. I just logged in. Okay. And it is not being set because we need to check how are we going to set this one. This should be working right. So passport dot authenticate local slash login. Okay, okay. So put authentication at this one also. Login and okay. So one problem solved. Second problem, why is it not taking up the step? Okay, so okay, let's protect the login also. That has to be there, right? Because then only we will be able to set this up. But that shouldn't matter anyways. Okay, let me cut this. And yes, let's save it. So setup is working, but the route is not. Let's log in again. So over here, okay, let's submit. Okay, is this saving something or not? Okay, so we are getting nothing at this point because because there is some issue in our configuration. Okay, so doctor dot find one. So we are getting this. Then we are getting the user. Then there's no method, something like this. Let's skip the password check. If user is present. User dot id. Okay, let's try that also. यस 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 सही बात है सही बात है वो थोड़े कई डिफरेंस है कुछ मिसिंग है बस स्मॉल कुछ मिस कर रहे हैं बस सिंटैक्स में आई एम नॉट श्योर व्हाट वी आर मिसिंग ओके दैट इज नॉट द केस केस तो नहीं है बट श्योर ये आईडी इसी से आ रहा था ओके लेट्स ट्राई वंस अगेन अदरवाइज विल ट्राई टू कंसोल थिंग्स ठीक है कि एग्जैक्टली पहुंच भी रहा है कि नहीं पॉइंट तक आई guess we are getting So passport dot initialize local strategy password is there, and okay, let's see what we are getting here exactly. Are we getting the email or not? So email is basically the field which we get from the body. Okay, and we are supposed to get this. Let's check it out. Okay, that function is running or not. Okay, so let's check the network. So we did call login. It is a post request. Okay, so this is what going in this, but we are being redirected over here. Did we get something in the console? Nope, because this function is passed as a callback, so we won't be getting though anything from here. Mm, okay, and the email field should be email. Okay, let me check what we are missing. I have a reference. Uh, I guess. Okay, let me check. But that should be before this, right? I should be having passport before I use a route, right? Otherwise, how it will know that that is function existing? I have a reference. Don't worry. I will check it if does not work. Let's try it one now. I have a reference. I did it last time, but maybe I'm missing something. Okay, yeah, that's not the issue exactly, but yeah, thanks for help. Uh, Let me check once. Implemented it in the same way. Okay, so okay, not this one. So what am I missing exactly? Okay, we are doing the same thing, nothing else. So okay, so we have one more method which is the request we are getting, but that has nothing to do with this one, and the ID remains the same. User.find by ID, deserialize user. Oh, okay. Okay, so check authentication, and then we have the set authenticated user method also, which we do not need, but check authentication is, I guess, yes, we need this method. Yes, yes, we need this method. Okay, let me do some changes over here. So, not in the routes exactly. Okay, okay, so let's check one by one. So we have find one method, nothing with this one. This function is working fairly fine. Um, okay, then we have the passport callback. So callback is over here. Okay, so username field as email, username field as email. Wow, there's a lot of things I have changed over here. Okay, so since we are using the local strategy, we directly need the verify function, or or okay, it's the same thing, right? Okay, let me change this function itself. Meanwhile, if someone has implemented already, you can check. Otherwise, I'm going to check this part. So what we need exactly? Username field, yeah. So this is also needed. So pass request to callback. Let's make it true. Now the third thing, okay, so do we no configuration required? So these will be the options we have provided, and next comes the verification functions. Okay, so okay, I doubt this was really correct or not. Okay, anyways, now we have the correct thing. I can create a separate callback for this one. So yeah, obviously, like this is the code written by me itself. Okay, so I wrote all the things in once, but then I separated it. So maybe something was missing. So async, that has to be async function anyways. Okay, this is also there on GitHub. Okay, so if you want to go through it, you can just go through once. I'll take this callback and modify it. Not users, to be sure this should be doctor. Okay, find one, then we are having the email, then password. We do not need this as of now, so let's remove this. Okay, so since we are getting, then we'll say error is null, but user is also not there, but email is there, password is there, then we can simply send the user. Otherwise, obviously it is done error. Okay, we are getting error. I will supply the passport callback over here, and that's it. So I guess this should be ID. Let's check, but underscore ID should also be working. That's nothing, like both are present now. But anyways, let's see that part also. Find by ID, no changes required here. Okay, deserialize callback is the same thing we are doing, so no changes as of now. Yeah, this I guess should be there. Okay, because we have to set the authenticated user. Then only we will check it if it is present or not. So passport dot check authentication is a required method we should be having. But let's see if this is the case or not. Okay, set authenticated user. I guess this should don't be needed. So check authentication is the last method we need. Okay, and yes, that's it, I guess. And which route we are protecting exactly. Okay, let's try this one, then we'll check later if it fails. So I will restart the server. Okay, let's do the fault again. So first, second. Okay, so this is local auth we are missing. Like this is the local auth we are having this trouble. Otherwise, we do not need to have other things. Okay, so login sessions require login for support. But why? Where are we maintaining the session? We do not want to maintain the session, right? I do not want to maintain the session though. Okay, so it says session manager. Then we have request.login, request.login. Start the success. No, we do not need this for sure. Is authenticated. I just need the manual auth. I don't need that for now. I guess this is not needed. Okay, simple authentication. That should be working though. Okay, okay. This requires again the changes. Initialize need to come over here. Okay. Now we are getting one more error. I'm not sure why we are getting this now. I do not want to maintain a session. Okay, this is strange. Now, once the login is done, I'm trying to set up the cookie, which I don't need, I guess. Like that is for maintaining sessions if we want, but not sure if we want to maintain session exactly. But okay, let's see. Okay, let's use this also. If it would solve the problem, then it's fine. So basically, for session, we need to provide authentication key, and yeah, something that sort of, and nothing extra we require over here. Save and utilize resave. We do not need. We can use this as a secret. Okay, and we need to install this thing. So I will say npm install express session. Okay, and then finally app dot use. But this is for if we explicitly want to maintain the session. This was not compulsory though. But let's see. Maybe we are missing something. Okay, let's try it once again. Otherwise, we'll take some reference. Okay, yeah, thank you. Thanks for the guidance. I guess that was one thing we are missing. Okay, so let's check the cookies and session as of now. So do not have something in the cookies. So where is it saving exactly? Okay, so it is saving over here, and we can see that this is somewhat in an encrypted format, user.id. So yeah, so this is maintaining the sessions. Okay, now I can do any route I want. Okay, so is this going exactly, or yes? Okay, let's try to do authentication at some more places. So what changes we did to work for it? We installed one more package, Express Session, and the secret is this, which is used for authentication of our user ID, and it's have, if it is not initialized, so it will be initializing, and then next is resave. I guess need to check it. Okay, okay. What else do we need for our local strategy? So let's put it on another route. So we can say that appointment can only be done. Okay, so appointment can only be booked or is change status. Okay, so changing status can only be done if there is authentication. Means authentication is already there. So passport dot authenticate. Okay, strategy. Then failure redirect, okay, to the login page. Let's try this status set for our application. Okay, I'll just remove this one. Let's check. Okay, so it is going, it is also going. So it's a patch request status, and yes, we are going to. Okay, see this cookie. So like this cookie is what being sent. Okay, so this is the cookie which is being sent to the backend. I guess this is our set cookie, so we do not need, I guess, this one. Let me check. I guess this is not needed anymore. So this is the cookie which is being sent. So every request we do not need to log in. Why we do not need to log in? Because a request header already contains this cookie. So this cookie is going to backend, and passport is saying that okay, this is done. Like this user is verified. Okay, so this is what it is happening over here. Once I delete the cookie, I have to log in again. So let's delete the cookie. Let's try to do this again. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So it's setting it up again, right? And yes, it is automatically the session is being maintained itself. Okay, let me hit profile. Okay. So is it maintaining session storage also? No, just this part. Any local storage maintained? Okay. Nope. So user ID is there, and yes, we are getting it. Okay, so this much setup is required only for local auth. The rest of the auths are not this like Google Auth, and those are not. We have to not to do this much configuration because they're running on their own server itself. A quick recap for what we did exactly. So we installed Passport.js, then we installed Passport Local, which is basically the strategy. Also, we installed Express Session. So starting with the first install, which is Passport, we created a configuration. In the configuration, we have passport.use method. Use method will tell what strategy we are going to use at any given point of time. We can use more than one. So we have a website which offers different type of login scenarios. Okay, so obviously we can have different ones. Okay, then we have like this passport.use, so we'll tell which strategy. So we'll say local strategy. A strategy where we are getting this, we are getting from local strategy. Okay, then I added these two things. Okay, not sure if we exactly need this. Let me comment this part. Okay, and check it. So just this function, the verification function. Okay, let's see if that will do our job or not. So I will go to login. I will delete this. Okay, let's log in again. Oh, okay. I see this. This is needed indeed. We didn't get this on the document, but yeah, this is needed. See, this is needed. Or maybe we don't need the request anymore. Let me check once again. Okay, makes sense. So passport callback will require only the email and the password. Okay, but this username field is compulsory part. Anyways, we'll have it. We'll give it a shot. If that is needed, let's keep that. Yes, that's needed. Exactly, it is needed. This, I guess, is not needed. Yes. So we have to specify this username field. Okay, that what username field we are going to use. So this is the email field which we are going to use. Okay. Second comes the passport callback. So callback is basically the email and password will be received to us from request.body and basic data operation, database operation. If you find the user, well and good, return the user, otherwise return false, otherwise return error if there is any error. Once this is done, it will try to serialize it. Serialize means pick the user ID, put it into the cookies, the same we did in the manual authentication. And whenever any auth is protected, just use this again, deserialize user function to send it into the cookie. So cookies are being sent to us. Okay, and this is what it is doing, is it is extracting things from the cookies. Okay, basically the ID, and we are Once the setup is done, we are exporting this passport. We have added methods over here, right? Now, this is not the same passport it was. We have added our methods which we want to use and exported this. So, when you export passport here, do not export that passport. You have to export your whatever strategy we have created. Okay, then express session to maintain the session, secret key, any secret key you want. Okay, resave unsave uninitialize will check this part. Okay, then two initializer functions, so this is needed, this is compulsory, and this is also, I guess it's compulsory if you want to maintain session. So before making the route request, use passport.initialize and session. um, yeah, that is pretty much it. Apart from protecting the routes will be done something like this: passport dot authenticate. If you whatever routes you want to authenticate, put this as a middleware. Is this clear, guys? This is being maintained. ठीक है, ये जो सेशन मेंटेन करा है, मतलब कि इट इज स्टोरिंग. ओके, लेट मी डू वन थिंग. ठीक है, एक काम करते हैं. Let me clear the server. We haven't used a database. ठीक है, so if I stop my server and delete this, and then I restart my server. Okay. 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 Is it is using the cache or something? Okay. So you see that we do not need it to log in again from this. Okay. So Express is maintaining a store for itself. Okay. Express खुद एक store maintain कर रहा है, which is setting up these two values. Now, where exactly is it? Is it stored in the cache or something? I will just find it out. Okay. So but in manual authentication में क्या हो रहा था, जब हम कुकी डिलीट कर दे रहे थे तो it was not able to like get it back. ठीक है, बट यहाँ पे सेशन मेंटेन हो रही है. इट मीन्स दैट वी आर गेटिंग द these cookies saved somewhere. ठीक है, कहीं ना कहीं तो सेव हो रही है. Okay, and that is being done by the session itself. But where it is exactly saving it, let me check. Either it is the cache storage or something else. Okay, I'm not so sure as of now. Yes, yes, yes. So we have for the session, ठीक है, expiry time भी set कर सकते हैं. We have option here also, like expire option भी होगा. But let me check it once for the session. We'll do the session thing, ठीक है. Um, expire. Okay, do not have it as of now. We'll check it. Yeah. So okay, let's do the session thing in the next session. Okay, we'll see how do we set up the session or how this exactly working. But as of now, and the strategies we'll check it out. The Google Auth, I guess it's already done in the lecture. So I will do GitHub authentication or Facebook authentication. Okay. So let's see that in the next session. And for this session thing, I will just find out and let's discuss this first before we start with our GitHub or Facebook authentication. I will push the changes. So git. Okay. So added passport local strategy, and I guess it's pushed. Okay, so added passport local strategy, and these are the file changes. Go through it once. We'll add more in the next session. Hmm. Pass. Yeah. Hmm. यस, ओके, सो कर क्या रहे हैं बेसिकली कि बाय डिफ़ॉल्ट जो लोकल स्ट्रैटेजी है, मतलब पासपोर्ट है, वो सिर्फ ईमेल और पासवर्ड भेज रहा है, ठीक है? बट अगर आपको पूरी की पूरी रिक्वेस्ट की बॉडी भेजनी है, मतलब सिर्फ आपको रिक्वेस्ट बॉडी डॉट ईमेल नहीं भेजना है, पूरा रिक्वेस्ट भेजना है, तब आप इसको करोगे, ठीक है? पास रिक्वेस्ट टू कॉल बैक। सब कुकीज़ वगैरह जितनी है, सब आप यहाँ पे यहाँ से भेज सकते हो। जैसे कंट्रोलर में पूरी रिक्वेस्ट जाती है, वैसे ही आप यहाँ से भी पूरी रिक्वेस्ट भेज सकते हो। ओके, ठीक है। ओके, ठीक है, नेक्स्ट सेशन में स्ट्रैटेजी पर डिस्कस करते हैं, सो द सेशन थिंग, और फेसबुक या फिर गिटहब इस स्ट्रैटेजी को इम्प्लीमेंट करता हूँ अपने एप्लीकेशन में, एंड विल क्रिएट दैट दोज ऑप्शन इन आवर लॉगिन सिस्टम आल्सो, ठीक है? लॉगिन में भी तीनों लॉगिन दिखाएंगे एक साथ। Go through it once, and let's meet day after tomorrow. Okay. Okay. 1 minute is attendance sheet. Where is register? Okay. So August 21. Where is the sheet? I guess I had it here. Hmm. Okay. Where did I put it? Okay, I will just have a screenshot then. I'm not finding the sheet. I will share with you in the group. So let me take a screenshot. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. Let's meet you after tomorrow. Bye.